Welcome back everyone to another Femap tutorial, and in this example we're gonna take a look at how to set up beams and orientate them and the details that we need to make sure we enter into the properties. Okay, let's get started. Let's go and set up our material. Go to model, material. I'm gonna put material 1, leave isotropic. Young's modulus 70 E3, no, E9, and Poisson's ratio 0.33. Okay, cancel. Now let's go and start our properties. Let's see T-shape, because we're gonna have to enter three different ones, T, L, and I shape, right? Okay, so let's start with T-shape. Pick the material 1, the one we just defined. Element type bar. Well, the beam is also would be good, but we don't need the extra complexity because the beam includes other more specialized theories like non-prismatic beams, warping effects, shear center not coincide with the natural axis of the beam cross section. So we're not gonna deal with those more specialized cases, so a bar will do the job for us. Okay, and now we're gonna go to shape, and here we're gonna enter in our details. So pick from the standard library. We're gonna go to T section. Here it is, and let's go enter in our details. Here I'm gonna enter for the height 0.2, the width let's put 0.15, the thickness of the web and the flange, let's see, 0.02, 0.02. These are stress recoveries. We'll talk about them later, and we're gonna set up a reference point which we're gonna use later. See the little R? We can move it around. Let's see, we're gonna put it, keep clicking, and I'm gonna put it right here, and we'll use the reference later. We'll explain why what we're gonna use that for. And the local y-axis on my drawing, I'm gonna set it up that the y points upwards. See, now it's upwards. It was to the right. Now I'm gonna put it up here. Yeah, there you go, y pointing up, and the x is coming out of the screen and the z is across. Okay, click on draw section, which I already did. All the details are over here, and that should do it for right now. You can click OK. All the information is transferred out here. We gave it a name, and we can click OK and cancel, and go here, and we can see our material and our shape, T-shape. Good. Now we can move on, and let's put in the L shape. Model, property, give it a name, L shape. Material 1 is picked. Here, leave the same one, the bar, and go to shape. From the standard library, go down, pick L shape, angle L section. There you go. Same thing, let's do the height 0.2, the width 0.15, and the thickness of both sides 0.02, 0.02. Leave these as is. Reference point, let's leave it on 1, and again orientate the y, shaping up, pointing up, z across, and x out of the screen. Draw section, there you go, it's good. Okay, all the information is transferred here. Make sure you click OK. Very good, and we're ready to and you can double check right there. And now we can set up our eye shape. Material, element, property bar, go back to the shape. Again, from the standard library, pick I-beam right here. We're gonna give the same dimensions, 0.2, width 0.15 we said, width to bottom same, 0.15, and all the thicknesses 0.2. Okay, draw the section. There you go. If you change something, make sure you do draw section, because then it just updates not automatically, but only after you click it. So point 2, there you go. Leave these as is. Reference point, let's put it up here again in the middle, so keep clicking forward till it finally pops in the right place. There you go. Leave it there. Orientate it up, the local y-axis up, and OK. And we created it. Make sure you click OK so it transfers it and sets it. And we are done with the properties. And look, it's even showing you the shape T, L, and I. Very good. Now we are ready to mesh our beam. Go to mesh, mesh control, control along curve. We're gonna seed it first. Click OK. I'm gonna put 10 elements. OK. We can see all the seeds appear. Very good. Cancel this out and then go ahead, mesh, geometry, curve, and we're gonna actually mesh it. Select it, click OK. Well, right now we can only select one of these, and then later we'll do some changes, but right now just select the T-shape. OK. And now it's asking me the orientation. How do I want to orientate the beam that I've created in this space right here? It's asking me how to orientate the y-axis. Remember here, the y-axis from here, the local y-axis of the beam, versus this setup right here. So I'm gonna pick y-axis and positive, referring to the global one, and click OK. And if we go click push the F6 button, I'll bring up this window. Go to labels, let's see, element, orientation, shape, and why we're taking cross section, show cross section, this one right there, show orientation, apply. OK, and there you go. Now we have a view of how our beams are situated, and see the white arrows right here. That's showing me the local y-axis, the one that we set up over here. Good. Okay, now let's go ahead and do some modification on these, and the visual display or whatever, the beam's not gonna make much sense, but you know, we're just gonna do it to practice our buttons, options, whatnot. Okay, so we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, we're gonna do the T beam with these modifications and offsets, and then we're gonna take a few of them, make them L, then do some modifications to it, then make these I, and do some modifications. Okay, so at first we had to pick one, and it's gonna set all of them the same, and now we're gonna mess around and do some exploring of the options. Okay, so first let's change the type of elements that we have here. We have all T shapes, right? So let's go to modify, element, update, and update the type. It's gonna ask which ones do we want to update. So we said the first 4 will leave T, then the next 1, 2, and 3, let's turn it into L shape. So click OK, and right here we have a T shape selected, so change it to L shape. OK, and there you go, it changed it. Now let's do the same thing for the last 3. Modify, update elements, type, and we're gonna click this, this, and this, and OK, and change it to I shape. There you go. Now we have all 3 of them. There you go. So again, right, this wouldn't make any sense in the real world, but we're doing this just to practice some features of the software. Okay, so let's see, what do we need to do? So we picked the type, we took care of this column, right? And what else? This one wants us to leave it as is, this one as is, and this one as is. So we're done with those. Now let's take a look at orientation. So it wants us to rotate it along its own axis. Let's try this one. Let's do a negative 90-degree rotation along its own axis. So that's the third one. So let's pick, that will be this guy right here. So we're gonna go to modify, update element, and instead of type, but now we're gonna come and line element orientation right here. Pick the one that you need to work with. There it is. Okay. Now it's gonna start asking question of how do we wanna do this process. I'm gonna do it with the vector option. Here it's asking the how should I click preview. How do we wanna reorientate the local y-axis of this element versus the 3D y-axis of this field that we are in right here, our work plane, right? So we need to do a negative 90-degree turn. Right now we are pointing along the y-axis, so negative 90 degree would be pointing along the z. So I'm gonna pick it based on location and enter in a vector for it. So for my vector, I'm gonna put the base to be 0, 0, 0, and the tip of my arrow to be 0, 0, and 1, pointing along the this way, right? The z-axis, global z-axis, and click OK. And you can see it rotated it, but it does not update on its own. So make sure you push the Control and G to regenerate, and then you can see the new one and the old one disappears. Okay, let's continue our work. We did this guy right here. Now let's finish all the rotations that need to be done. So let's do the next one, a positive 45. Modify, update element, line element orientation, pick the element, okay, vector, okay, leave the base of this one locate, and leave the base of the vector 0, 0, 0, and we need a 45 in the positive direction, so my arrow needs to point between the y and the negative z over here. So that means we need to put 0 here, 1 here, and negative 1 here. Okay, and there you go. Push Control G. There you go. It rotated it for us. Let's do the next one. This one is done. That one's fine. So this one's negative 45. So the second L, negative 45. Modify, update element, element orientation. The second L, okay, vector, okay. This one stay the same, 0, 0, 0. Here we're gonna do this one 1, okay. Control G, there you have it. We have taken care of this one. Then negative 90 for this one. Modify, update element, line element orientation. It was this one, okay. Vector, okay. Negative 90, that would be here, here. What would that be? What would that be? This one is 0 and 1. Okay. Control G. Good. We did this one, and negative 45. Modify, update element, element orientation, select the last one, okay. Vector, okay. 0, 0. This one 0, 1, and 1, and that should take us to this. Yep. Control G. There you go. All rotations are done. Okay, so we did all the angle. Let's do some offsetting, which will be the last column. We'll leave this one the same orientation as it was, and let's offset it by h, which was 0.2. So that's gonna be this one. And let's say if you don't want to see the rest of them, you can toggle these off. Say, and I want to see only these. So go to modify, edit, element, pick the element, okay, and here we enter what we want. So we can offset it only one side, the other side, both sides. So let's define end A of the element right? This is and A and B and A. We define it. We want to offset it along the Y axis. So leave the base always at 0. Make it simple. Don't complicate things. And the tip of my vector is gonna be 0 along here. And let's see, Y 0. This one needs to be 0.2. Okay, so you're not setting the location of your element. You're setting the vector that's gonna decide how you offset it from where it is right now. Okay, click OK, and you don't need to define B, or you can just click and B equals and A, and then it copies the info from there here. Click OK, and hop, it went to its place. Control G to get rid of the old. There you go, and we offset it. Now another way to deal with offsetting, let's mark this as done, and this one, see, the one we rotated earlier, we also need to offset it a little bit. So it wants us to offset it to the top center on the x-axis. Now if you recall, when we set up our shape right here, click edit, click on shape, and look at this. Remember, we set this reference point. Okay, so this is what this is used for. If you know ahead of time, or if you forgot about it, come back and edit it. You can put a reference point on your beam where you can do a reference for. Okay, and cancel this out, and now we can offset our element to that location. This is that location, so we're going to take the fourth element and offset it to that reference. So what was the fourth element, right? Was it the fourth one? Yeah, fourth element. So go to modify, update element, line element offset, select the element, okay, and move to reference point right here. Pick one end, the other end, both ends, you know, there's options here. We're gonna leave it for both A and B ends and move to reference point. Click that. There you go, it did. And Control G to get rid of the old one. And as you can tell, the cyan line where we what we set up earlier for our beam, now it was moved from the natural axis to that reference point on the T. And we have one more offsetting left to do, which would be this one right here. This is the third L element, and we need to right set it to this place, right corner on x-axis. And also, if you remember, let's turn these back on, L shape. If you remember, we've set it R, its reference point, right here. This is why we set it there, so we can use it as a reference point. There you go, where I can turn these off so I don't complicate my view. There you go. Which one was that? The third L. Pick this one. Good. Okay, so go to modify, update element, line element offset, pick it. Okay, move to reference point. Bang, Control G. Wow, and successfully completed all our requirement. And, oh, we have one more right here. So we need to set the second one, offset it by T. So let's click these back up. Go to modify. Remember, this one doesn't have a reference point, so you need to go to edit, element, last one. Was it the last one? Keep forgetting. Not that one. So delete this one. Okay, good. Now I'm gonna set A. So always the unit vector 0, 0, 0, offset it along the y axis 0. What was 0 point? The thickness, not the height. So the thickness was 0.02, and everything else stays as is. Here I'm in the locate, and okay, and make the A and A equal to and B. There you go. If not, you'll just lift up one end, leave the other one where it is. Click OK, and it offset it. Control G to get rid of the old view. And there you have it. A bunch of offsets to practice how to move beams around and types and all kinda whatnots. Alright, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe and have a great day.